Hi, hello guys. How is it going? I have a quick question for you guys. Imagine, I'm assuming most of you guys, but before that, I would like to clarify that my primary language of communication is not English, it's Hindi, and specifically Bombay style Hindi, which is like Hindi in a very sad way. But so my English is not that perfect, even though I was in an English medium school, but it was a state board school, so you guys know what I'm saying. Anyways, so the second thing, most of you guys are in your late 20s, early 30s. I can see some senior citizens and I can see some kids as well. But imagine you are in 10th standard. You got 100% marks, 100.00. Everyone in your family, your neighborhood, your school are going nuts, going crazy. Oh my God, what is that? Except your cousins for very obvious reasons. And something very cool happens. I didn't say anything. Yeah. So the Prime Minister of our nation calls you. He's very impressed. Wow, you got 100%. I have a deal for you. You can take admission in any institute that you want to, any institute that you can think of, any institute of India, and I will take care of the entire fees, the lodging part, the boarding part, the food part, and you would also get a stipend of 30,000 rupees per month to sustain your family or for your personal expenses. Which institute will you choose? Oh my God. Yeah, so like unlike some really sad people out there, yeah, some would, I'm talking 10th standard, you can't join IIM after 10th standard, my bro. Like, so some would say, okay, maybe IIT, some would say, maybe I want to be a doctor. If someone is super patriotic, maybe Akshay Kumar types, maybe NDA. And if you want to take a degree in liberal arts college, a degree in a liberal arts field, then maybe these cool people, which is very unlikely, but you get the point. Anyways, but before you answer that, a little about myself. My name is Balram Vishwakarma. I am based in Bombay. I call myself a non-academic ethnographer. Ethnographer is a person who basically studies people, the current people, documents them for the future generations. So if I write a book right now, my grandchildren will not get money out of it, and 100 years later, maybe it would be, my books and my observations would be in a state or a central library. So what I do is, I document the labor class of Mumbai. Think of a boot polisher, a chabi wala, a key maker, a Zomato driver, a Swiggy driver, a photo studio owner, a miller. What I do is, I ask them about their daily bio, their daily schedule, how many times do they spend in a day, how many hours do they spend in a day. For example, there's a misconception that a Pani Puri wala runs his stall for only 4 hours and then he can make a number of money. But no one wants to know, he wakes up at 7 o'clock, he goes to the market, he buys stuff, he starts prepping his thing from 7 o'clock in the morning. Then when he shuts down his stall, he goes back home, cleans everything, and then it can be 11 o'clock in the night, 12 o'clock in the night. He does not get a proper sleep, so I do that work. I talk about the daily schedule. Then the most important part, the average monthly balance sheet of the business, the monthly cost of living in the city, and the Q&As that you would always want to ask people. Like, everyone has this thing that you want to ask the Uber driver how much is he making in a month, just because it's fun to ask. So I ask all the questions on your behalf, and the questionnaire is pretty extensive. It was 110 the last time I took someone's interview, and the interview can last anywhere between 40 minutes to 70 minutes to sometimes even 3 hours. And one of the questions that I asked there is the question I asked you right now. But before asking that question, I used to ask this question of, what do you want to become? What is your childhood dream? And okay. So a lot of people would not understand. So I would give them an example that I saw this 1999 film called Border. I saw Jackie Dada in a plane giving thumbs up to Sunny Deol, who is on ground, and they can clearly see each other and they're smiling and there's a bromance developing. I'm like, bro, Air Force. I want to be Air Force. Like, I don't know how to become an Air Force officer, but Air Force it is. So my childhood dream was to be an Air Force officer. But when I asked the people from the labor class of Bombay, specifically Bombay, I've started covering Delhi as well. More than 50 people said that maybe support my family, which did not answer my curiosity. So I started asking them the same questions and included the 30,000 rupee part, so that if they come from a Raju Rastogi kind of family where like the family is really struggling for money, they can actually support the family and pursue their dream. Still, most of them said they want to be nurse, they want to be cops, they want to be teachers, or they want to join the railways. And if maybe they've seen 12th pass, then they would want to be an IPS officer or an IAS officer. That is it, this was it. My biggest question was, of all the 50 people from the labor class that I asked question, and the kind of people I hang out with at clubs and bars and like house parties, I could not find even one person in the labor class that says something like that. Well, the slides got a little missed. So these, and the dreams that were talking about, for example, the teacher, lawyer and everything, it's very low tier dreams. Like it's just, you see someone doing this and then you want to become like that. I was like, it can be a coincidence. But then I started asking more and more people. And no one would say, if I go to a primary school if I go to a private primary school, the kids would say, I want to become an astronaut, I want to be the Prime Minister of India, I want to be a builder, like the builder who drives in a Ford and not the Bob the Builder kind of guy. But I could not find even one person from the labor class who would say something like this, which we hear every day. Where are the types, the question I would ask, where are the types who get involved in B2B SaaS project and then up their valuation after spending 8 years of their life and Papa ki pension, only to finally look for a VC who can buy 2% of their company stakes for 17,000 crore rupees? Never happens. You? Okay, maybe. So this is the topic. This is the topic which I am talking about. It's called dreams are a privilege. The locality you live in, the house that you live in, the places that you are associated with directly dictates the kind of dreams you would pursue. If you live in the slums, your biggest dream would be to support your family. But if you live, let's just say, in a South Delhi 13,000 square feet apartment or something like that, maybe you would want to make an art film that represents the labor class. So another example. So that was, people are not able to dream. The second one was, my late father came from the state of Bihar in the 1980s, just like every other Bihari in the 1980s, to Mumbai because he was passionate about not dying of starvation. So he came and then he started his own small grill shop, the welding grill shop. And while going from Jogeshwari to Vikhroli, there's a locality, comes IIT Bombay. So when we were in a bus and we were going through that bus, my dad, and I was in 9th standard, my dad told to me that, listen, just get 75%. I'll figure out 2-3 lakh rupees here and there, and I'll try to get you in this college. He did not even know that this was an institute, it was not a college, because he was a second class pass guy. He did not really know how do you get into IITs, how do you get into IIMs, why do people go to big colleges, and all, because there was no one to tell. And I did not had the balls to tell my dad after like so many years that in order to go to that IIT gate, I have to first sell my kidney and then go to Kota, and then if I survive Kota, then maybe I can go to IIT. But why does it happen? Why are the aspirations and dreams for yourself and folks around you is so less? And even if the aspirations are like something big, and let's just say you want to become a Raja Babu corporate officer in a glass building looking outside his cubicle and pretending that he's in a Rajnigandha ad, where does the journey to be that person start? And the biggest observation that came to, my understanding was, again, J. Cole wrote this song called No Role Models. There are no role models when you are from a subaltern background, when you are from the slums, when you are from a lower caste background. And I'm not even talking about the generational trauma and the kind of society that we've built that is built to fail the most of the people. For most of the people in the society, especially I would say most of you guys, the first job that we had was perhaps the campus placement on the third year. Maybe you would get like 5,000, 6,000 rupees, but you could always say that the first job is that. But I would absolutely say that 80% of Indians, or even more, like a hell lot of Indians, hustle starts when you live in a very small house and you're a young child, and then you see your parents struggling for cash, and every money you take from your parents feel like an insult. And you feel that maybe, why am I taking money from my parents? Why shouldn't I just basically go do work and get things done? So you do not have a role model to aspire. You do not have a mentor to guide. There is no loved ones to believe in your dream. If someone says that I want to go to IIT, then I want to go to IIM, then I want to do this and that and this, and then I can make maybe like get a package of 2 CR. But the entire process would cost you about 80-90 lakh rupees. A lot of people from the marginalized background will not be okay to sponsor that kind of money. So, and there's no finances to fund. So I was also working in this organization called FilterCopy, Dice Media, Pocket Aces. And we used to have this quote running that the greatest writers of our time are not in FTIIs, that is film, FTIs, like aims of filmmaking. They are sitting in office cubicles, because a lot of people have n number of talent, but they do not know where do you start from, first is where do you start, sapne kaise dekhe, how do you dream first, then where do you start, how do you figure out things, and then finally get things done. There is no one to do these things. So how do we fix this problem? Again, it's a very open-ended question. But thankfully, I am in an IIM right now. I am not in an IIT, because if I was in IIT and I was saying this thing to a bunch of students from IIT, I was pretty sure that half of them will either go to IIM or half of them will become TVF writers. I'm glad that I'm in IIM. So most of you guys are definitely going to join a company, and you would have some kind of power and authority to make some changes. So this is for you guys. Diversity, hire from diverse background. Do not focus on your college cohort. If there's an internship opportunity for you need 4 young interns, try to get 3, 2, 1, or even 1 person from a marginalized background, maybe from a slum, maybe from a linguistic minority, religious minority, racial minority. You get these people on board and you mentor them. We've all seen suits. Maybe become this guy for these, those people. Make them believe in their ideas and make them nurture them, make them believe that they can dream big as well, and do things, because unless you do these things, there would be a constant stalemate. But if you're on the receiving end of the benefits of the stalemate, then there is hardly you would do. But if you think that the system is unfair and you would want to do something about this, then it's a great time to think about increasing the capacity of a person to dream. A person should not settle for becoming a patwari. A person should not settle for becoming a class D employee, class C employee of a government organization, should not aspire to be a vada pav stall owner. Maybe the initial money is really nice, but it is not sustainable for the long run. That is what is it? So maybe to aspire people to think that, okay, you started from here, and your dreams are this. No, I believe you can do this. Don't settle for this, go for this. And if you need anything for that, I'll do that. So that is there. And the entire nation is a very uneven playing field right now with respect to anything that you can think right now. Jobs, security, finances, taxes, and everything. If you think the system is flawed, then maybe try to get people from the marginalized background and make this a little playing field, because this is the last thing that I'm going to say, that dreaming feels like a luxury when survival is the first order of the day. And if you can fix that, that would really help a lot of people. That's about my talk, guys. Thank you so much.